about London with Jojo. You've lived in London for 26 years, obviously an Edinburgh girl through and through. Is there anything that would bring you back to live in Edinburgh?
God, I think about it all the time.
Do you?
I've got so much work down here at the moment, and everyone's like, oh, but you can just get the train up and down. But at the moment, I'm going from here, like this week, I've got Manchester, Bristol, Brighton, back to London, and that's just like, and that tires me out, and that's only like a couple of hours each way, and I just think, do you know what, I'd love to, do you know what, I think about it eventually. I've had too much going on, you know, with COVID, and my dad's passing away, and then I lost the cat last week, and I'm just a bit like, so yes, I would come home, but not yet.
And certainly not on the Lumo train, because it's a disaster.
Is it?
Oh, it's literally cattle class. And there's no luggage space, and because it's so cheap, everybody's on it.
I've never heard of it.
It's a discount. It's basically EasyJet, but on the rails.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine who's up this week, she came up on it, and apparently if your bag is bigger than like a cabin bag on the plane, that you get charged for a big suitcase.
Yeah, and there's
no
to put
buffet
it.
car.
No, it's horrific, and I'll never do it again.
That's what's happening anyway on the trains, because I'm up and down all the time. I'm coming back up to Edinburgh in a few weeks' time, and I had paid full price for a ticket, got a seat and everything, and there was an old man sitting in my seat, so I didn't want to say anything. And the whole train was packed, so I had to sit outside the toilet. You know, they've got that seat. I was just like the toilet operator, and then we were stuck for 7.5 hours. It cost me about 180 quid or something.
Wow. What made you think you couldn't? Because of his age? But he was in your seat if you'd booked
I know, but I can't do that. I can't ask someone.
Very British sensibility, isn't it?
Well, I think it's more Scottish.
Yeah, maybe.
I think we're quite polite, and I was just like, oh no, he's in the wrong place, so what do I do? And I just thought, okay, he'll get off in a minute. He'll get off at the next one. Get off. No, he was going to Aberdeen, so yeah.
He's probably on his way to see Steps.
Yeah, probably. Who knows?
Gail, the reason we decided to do this podcast was to kind of enhance our own honesty and hopefully the honesty of others around us. And you recently did, well, in the past, was it 2019? You had an incredibly frank and honest documentary that you did for BBC Scotland. What was your motivation by doing that? Because you were nothing if but not nakedly candid. I mean, did you have many thoughts beforehand, worrying about it or whatever? I mean, it was brilliant.
I didn't have many thoughts beforehand, to be honest. I think it was kind of like, BBC Scott Turn Television, I think they contacted me. We'd sort of been, I don't know how it exactly came about. And then it all came together. And then they said, we'll be filming with you for 6 months about your life. And I thought, oh, right. And I thought, don't think about it, because the more I think about it, the more I'll cry. And I'm going to cry anyway. And so I thought, just get on with it. Just get on with it. And, you know, it was just bizarre. The whole thing was bizarre. It was kind of like I went to, I think, 5 different doctors, and I had 5 different diagnoses about mental health.
Wow.
And, you know, they only met me for 15 minutes. Don't even know them. They're just reading lists from other doctors and going, oh, yeah, you've got this. Oh, no, actually, she's got this. No, she's got this. Oh, no, she's completely fine, actually. And you just think, wow, don't give me a label, please. I don't want one. But it was interesting. But, you know, it was weird because I got to see my dad. And my dad passed away just at the beginning of COVID. So, but saw him, got to go home. It was quite tricky to, I think the poor director kind of had to put up with quite a lot to do with me, because she'd take me to like my mum's house. My mum's passed away as well. And it's just like, she's going, right, I'm crying my eyes out. She's like, we'll just do that again, can we? And I was like, are you joking me? And I'm not really one to grump, but I was just thinking, you know what, this is really personal. And none of I understand that you're making it into a great program, you know, structurally. But for me, I was just thinking, this is quite a lot to sort of go through. And it's not like I could go to my mum's and ask for a cuddle, or, you know, go see my dad, because he was he came back for a couple of days, then he was back off to Spain. So it was just very raw emotion. And
well, it is that juxtaposition, isn't it, between, you know, a production company wanting to get a creative journey and it being an emotional journey for you.
Yeah. Because I mean, I've done lots of different telly programmes in my time. So, you know, you do Top of the Pops, you know that you're going to have to stand on a box because you're a wee bit too short to see over the children. And then, and that's a true story. And then you have to just kind of like, you've got your script, you know what you're doing, this is this, it's all laid out for you. But then suddenly you've been given a project and they're going, this is all about your life and your mental health. And you think, yeah, I can do that. And it's not until you start filming, you think, oh, this is really, it's like being in a therapist for 6 months without a break, apart from at night time when you go to bed.
And you don't have a script, you just have that emotional reaction, which you can't control.
Yeah, exactly. So, it was tricky, but don't get me wrong, it was great team, great crew, great everything. I was just an emotional wreck. So it was quite good to get it finished.
Do you regret it?
No, not in the slightest. Got a BAFTA over there, mate.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a BAFTA for anything else. I may as well get a BAFTA for being a wee bit off the wall.
And then what was the response to it? Do you mean because we live in this social media world now and so everybody has an opinion? Of course they do. So what was the...
It was just overwhelming. I mean, I did not get one single negative comment unless it just didn't pop up. I couldn't even read all the comments.
Amazing.
And but the only problem was, well, it's not a problem because it's lovely, but I'd get lots of, lots and lots of words from certain people going, how do I fix this? And I thought, I'm not a therapist. I'm just telling you my story. And, and I felt really bad because I think it's really nice. I love it when people chat to me. I get people chatting to me a lot in London, that's about hair or mental health or depression or sometimes just nice things that make you smile. And I don't mind that at all, but I can't give anybody any advice because I'm not qualified.
But I think people do that, don't they? If they see somebody sticking their head above the parapet and everybody's looking for answers. And so if they look at you and go, oh, looks like Gail's really got a handle on it, knows what she's doing, look to you for help.
Yeah, I think, it's nice to find other people that have gone through similar things as you because you don't feel so isolated. Because, when my hair fell out, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm the only one. My mum's hair fell out through chemotherapy. So, I felt that I was being very selfish by worrying about mine because, mine was just alopecia, but still just alopecia.
I love that, just alopecia.
Just alopecia, that's how I treat it now. I think it's just alopecia until some of the kids up the road and they don't even bother with me now. I was like, don't you dare, I'm Scottish. And they go, oh, Scottish lady, don't say anything mean. I was like, yeah, don't.
Absolutely. Because you've mentioned hair, and I know as a guy, I'm very attached to my hair, and I like going and getting it cut and all that kind of stuff, and products and hairspray and whatever. When that happened, because not only were you known as being a really good television presenter, but you were known as a sex symbol, for want of a better phrase. So when things start...
I don't know. I mean, I obviously never saw it. I was just... Yeah.
Well, I remember actually living in the West End of Edinburgh and being in a shop and you were on The Sun and it was your Parliament, the Houses of Parliament thing. And I remember these guys, and they were pretty. He was like, "Oh, fucking look at her!" And oh, she's begging for it. And I was. What? I think I was off my head on like half an E trying to buy a chunky Kit Kat, right? And I went begging for what? It's a picture of a woman like, shut your puss, because obviously the Dundonian came out in me.
The most weird thing about that conversation, you wanted to eat a Kit Kat.
Exactly. Well, I'd been at Taste the night before. It was a Monday. I was trying to bring myself down with sugar, but being revered for your looks and all that kind of stuff, how did you then transition into the person that you are in now?
I think because I never saw myself as that person. Obviously right. I did everything else. My happy time was like doing Top of the Pops. I've always been up and down, and in front of the camera you could be as happy as you like. Outside the camera you just think, oh my god, blokes treat you like this. I'm just having a bit of fun. Don't treat me like. But, I was part of that whole 90s thing. You got caught up in it. It was quite exciting. And then suddenly you sort of feel like you've dug yourself into a bit of a hole because people, not everybody, but mostly, daft blokes would just look at you and go, hey, boobs and hair. And you're like, yeah. No, because my hair fell out so quickly, it's like 4 weeks. Had a full head of hair, and then within 4 weeks I had nothing. And I was filming in America, and I didn't have time to even comprehend what was going on. And I'd left Honey, my daughter, with her dad, my ex-husband, when I was filming in America, and I had to phone up and say, you're gonna have to tell her Mummy's coming home and she's completely bald. And he's like, you're joking. I went, that's not, I can come up with something funnier than that. I mean, I'm Scottish. And I was going, no, that's a hilarious. And so I cried the whole way home on, it was a Virgin flight, 'cause I remember, because all the girls and guys that are working there were so lovely and were just chatting to me and trying to calm me down. Because I was more worried. I didn't care what the whole world, what anyone thought about me in the street or what the papers were going to say. I was just thinking, if I get home and my little girl doesn't recognise me.
Or he frightens her, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the unusualness.
I tried the whole way home, and then when I got there, she just looked to me and she's like, rock and roll.
Wow.
And that was it. And I was like, I don't care what anybody thinks.
And did you ever go for wigs or things like that?
I did once when I was on a TV program, because I was just showing people what you can get. And I was working with this wig company, because a lot of people say, oh, I don't know where to get wigs. And I said, so I wore it, and I couldn't. It was quite nice to have it on for half an hour that I was on the thing, and then I went for a walk in it, and it's quite nice to swing my head around a bit, and because I still sometimes do that, and I forget I'm bald, and I do the flick of the hair. It just looks like I've got a twitch. So I always say, oh my god, I'm still single and I'm 51, and I always think, oh god, maybe it's the way that I look, and my mate's like, maybe it's the way you keep flicking your hair and you haven't got any. Not only are you bald, but then you've got a twitch going on all the time. But yeah. So I went completely off kilter there.
Are you 51 and single and happy with that, or would you like to meet someone?
Really? No. Well, do you know what? I get lonely here, and obviously since the cat's gone, it's unbelievable. It's only been a week, and I still am like shouting on her. I'm like, so no. Do you know what? It'd just be quite nice to go out, but I'm going out today, and I'm going to see my friends in town, so that's nice. This is the first time I've actually gone out without having to work. So I've got one bit of work this afternoon, and then a couple of friends from Edinburgh are in town.
Charlie?
No, Charlie,
no Charlie, because we have a friend in common.
Okay. By the way, after he's been talking about ease, Charlie is a friend.
Yes, I was just going to say.
Sorry about that.
Suddenly we've got a code word going on.
Can we move away from the ecstasy? It was a long time ago. I'm a respectable woman now.
No, Charlie's not coming down. I think my friend Tony's in town, and I think somebody else is in town. And I've actually got from about 3 o'clock or something, I'm free after I do a voiceover. So that's good. And then I'm working all day tomorrow because we've got a new Spooked Scotland programme coming out on Discovery Plus and Really. So that's going to be quite funny. So we went round Scotland to all the haunted houses and castles and did history during the day, and then waited for the ghosts to come out at night.
And did any of them come out?
Well, there was kind of weird things happened, but we had experts there. So I was the one that was always bursting into tears, but they were putting me into rooms on my own. They're going, in this room, Bonnie Prince Charlie slept. And then they went, this is the most haunted room in the castle. Gail, it's yours. And then they go away. And I was like, hang on a minute, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm on my own with a camera holding like this. And I was just, there was a lot of tears for me.
I love that you cry so much, because I think it's good. Yeah, my kids always take the piss out of me because I literally will burst into tears at an advert.
Yeah, absolutely. Adverts make me cry. Coronation Street, I shouldn't even be watching it. Gogglebox makes me cry. In fact, one of the guys from Gogglebox just added me on his Instagram, and he's like, "Oh, I really think you're a great inspiration." I was like, "Oh, it's someone from Gogglebox."
I cried at the end of the snooker on Monday.
Really?
When Ronnie O'Sullivan went, I was in floods of tears.
Or are you pleased it was over?
No. I'm a big snooker fan. I love it. Yeah, but Ronnie O'Sullivan won his 7th title, and I got carried away. And
I don't know
weeping.
who these people are, and I wish them very well.
I only do it if I'm in one of those snooker halls, and you know when you're just like, you've had too much to drink, and you go, I can do that.
Oh, I can play pool when I'm pissed. I can't do it when I'm sober.
Oh wow!
It's one of those skill sets. It's like driving. No, I'm joking.
So have you? We'll move on. What was going to say, Gail? Have you done any more acting? Because the first time that I met you was over at the Hallion Club. Remember the Private Members Club in Edinburgh?
Oh, I remember that.
It was after the Vagina Monologues that you were in with Michelle McManus, Camden Barr, Kay Adams, and then I'd interviewed you for Talk 107. But I know that you're busy with presenting and stuff. Is acting something that you have pursued more, or?
No, I'm not really. I mean, I'd love to, because it was so much fun, and it's nice having somebody else's words to talk.
Yeah.
Today. And Karen Dunbar is just one of the nicest people in the world ever. I love her to bits. So she was a good help to me because I was extremely nervous. And I was quite surprised because I thought the Vagina Monologues, and I've got my male friends to come as well, and I thought they're going to hate it, and they loved it. They really enjoyed it. And I forgot the name of that place because we were just all invited over to it. Does that still exist in Edinburgh?
No, it became a low-rent steakhouse, and then it became something else.
Ego or something. And it was
going back to the drug chat, yes, it was a disco.
Yeah. Karen Dunbar, funnily enough, was our first guest on our podcast.
Yes, she was actually. Yes.
She's doing a play up north, isn't she? No.
she was doing a play a pie and a pint, was she? Yeah. And I think she's resurrecting a DJing career.
Yes, she's all for that, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. Have you spun the Wheels of Steel in your time, Gail? Have you been a bit of a DJ?
I do it here, but I tend to, like, if I go to somewhere, I just get somebody else to line everything up. I just press the buttons.
Oh, well, that's...
It's a start.
That's
It's
all
a start.
Going back to Spooky Scotland, are you a believer in other activity, other beings, other life forms?
Well, I went in as a skeptic. I did a program with Chris Fleming called Dead Famous. So Chris Fleming's an American psychic. We did it together 15 years ago, and they brought him back to work with me on Spooked Scotland. So funny. He's so funny, because he's a complete believer. You know, that's his whole life. His whole life is the supernatural. Whereas me, I kind of like, there was days that I thought, right, there's definitely something here. I haven't seen anything, but I'm really uncomfortable and I want to get out of here. And since I came home, I must admit, I've noticed things happening, like my door opened last night that the cat usually pushes open, and all my windows were closed, and I was freaking out. And then there was a wee tiny spider on the ceiling. I could watch him crawling. I don't mind beasties, it's no problem. But right above my forehead, he's like, his wee web was coming down, and it was just coming straight for me. And I thought, well, you could have come down anywhere. Why are you coming down straight like that? So I managed to get the web and then take him outside, because you don't kill spiders. And so yeah, that was the weirdest thing. So I do think I feel like sometimes things are around. I can't explain it. He kept asking me to, explain things on the program, and I was like, I'm not an expert. I don't know. Another crying day.
But the spider interaction, that's very Robert the Bruce, isn't it? So maybe that's someone trying to send you, power and confidence to go on.
And you know what, as well, when I went into one of the rooms we were in Barcaldine Castle,
right.
And then the woman, I said, oh my God, I've just walked through a spider web. She went, there's no spider web skill. And I was walking around and I was like, she said, that's another thing that they do, that spirits, she was a big believer. She went, they touch your heads if they want to, and obviously I'm an easy target. Yeah.
See, I swing between being incredibly cynical and a huge believer, because I think because I want to believe there is something, even though logically I kind of intelligently talk myself out of it. But I do want to believe there is something, because I can't believe that there isn't.
No, exactly. And do you know what? We were working with there's Evelyn Hollow, and she's a parapsychologist, and she would like talk us through everything scientifically. So she was amazing, and I really enjoyed her being there. Chris just believes in everything. So that's quite difficult sometimes.
Yes.
Come on. And then we had another guy that does Ryan, who came along with all the equipment, and he talked you through why this machine was going off at a certain point, why this room was going hot, then cold, and then hot. So it was quite nice to have that dynamic of different people. So me crying, Evelyn being really sensible, Ryan doing all the equipment stuff, and Chris just believing in everything.
So that's a really nice dynamic then, from so many different points of view.
Do you know what? They just showed me the first one, and oh my God, because there was a few times I was like, F in this, F, and I thought they're going to have to block it out, because it's going out worldwide, and they're going out in America. They don't like the swearing, do they?
No. Or fun.
And they kept it in, and I was like, you have to take that out. And they were, no, it's going to be great in the UK, but I think we might have to take it out for America. But literally, I just went, when you just have that proper fear, and it's suddenly going, no, F you, F this, I'm going to get an effing proper job, effing,
But it's
when you do it, you think, you're filming, 12, 13 hours a day. Do you think, and you're doing so many days a week, you just think, oh, cut that out, no problem, problem. Let's keep it in. I look like a mad person. Well, a madder person. So.
Here's a question that you just said there. I'm going to get a proper job. If you did have to get a proper job, what proper job would you get?
Be a nurse.
Oh, would you?
I would, yeah. I did this program many years ago called So You Think You Can Nurse. And so there was So You Think You Can Teach. I think it was on Channel 4 or Channel 5. And there was me, Janet Street Porter, and Sean Hughes, rest his soul.
Oh, yeah.
So we all went in, and we all got sort of taken around for a week, got initiated. So we did all little bits of different departments. So, whether it was pediatrics or accident emergency, did it. So we all had a wee bit time in each department. And then at the end of the week, the head nurse would come down and she'd say, right, so the documentary is going to be Janet, you're going to be in maternity because she doesn't like babies. So they were picking, and then they went, Sean, you're going to be in where was he? Pediatrics, because he doesn't like kids either. And they went, Gail, you're going to be in A&E. And I was like, it's because I cry all the time. It's because I cry all the time. So, but I loved every second of it. And I've got my auxiliary badge because I passed. So I can clean up shit and everything.
Oh.
But I loved every second of it. I loved everything. I didn't mind people being sick on me. I didn't mind any of it whatsoever. And it was so grounding. And you worked so hard. And they worked so hard for so little. And it was just one of the best experiences of my life. I loved an A&E because they were very kind to me because they said, right, we've got a guy coming in who's just had a cardiac arrest. He's not going to make it. Do you want to come in and be with us? And then I was like, yeah, I can do this. I could be there. And I did. And I cleaned up everything afterwards, after the end of it. And I kept speaking to the body. And I was so sorry. And but it was an amazing learning curve to see how hard these people work.
Absolutely. And to be at the coalface of, humanity, if you like, isn't it? Is kind of where it all kind of make or break.
So, yeah, I would do that in a second. I would even just go in and clean, to be honest. I love cleaning.
Oh, do you?
Do you want me to come round to your flat when
I was going to say I've had to sack my cleaner because she steals. It's my mum, but I am in the market for a new one. Oh, she's a thieving boot, honestly. She really, really is. But if you're up for it, yes. I won't put you on the Lumo train. I'll put you on the good one, the LNER.
Where does that go from?
King's Cross?
Yeah, the Lumo.
It's a Harry Potter type thing, but shit.
No. It's a blue train. It's a real thing. It's not like an apparition or a hallucination.
But it's the weirdest thing. It goes from King's Cross to
Bethlehem.
No, to Newcastle and Morpeth, and then Edinburgh. Those are the only. But Newcastle and Morpeth the next day. It's weird. It's a weird stoppage. So it's very quick.
About the sleeper thing as well.
Oh, I love the sleeper.
I hate the sleeper.
Do you?
Yes, I had a very bad experience on the sleeper that involved the police latterly, as you very well know.
Yes, that's true.
What happened? What did you do?
Right, so what I did was I did a gig, and it was a gig in the bar car, and I'd gone on, I'd been my usual charming self. Someone who shall remain nameless, think small, had passed, and there was these kind of trainee lawyers in who then tried to say to the police that I was being a homophobe. I know, me, sustained and aggravated homophobic abuse. And they tried to get the British Transport Police to arrest me under Section 5 public order, whatever. And it was on the sleeper, and people's stories had changed, and it really just put me off the service at all. I mean, I'm a big woman. I don't like sleeping on an ironing board. I hate they get out and they're like, go, there's your porridge, go, do one, off! And you're like, right, okay, going to calm down. But no, I will never go on that service again. I wish them nothing but harm.
Okay, well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
But no, because I was thinking about trying it, because the last time I tried it was when I was a student, and I was going home to Edinburgh, and it was quite cheap at the time. But then you had bunk beds, and you were sharing with a stranger.
I know,
and I still think that's extraordinary in this day and age.
I was with a bloke, and I was like 19 years old or something, and I did not feel comfortable. No. It's like a tiny room, and you just think that's not normal.
Exactly.
Here with folk.
You are? Well, yeah, this is the thing. So it's fine. But a lot of single homos, I know, like sharing with strange men because I think they chance their arm. But it's not for everyone.
Like sharing it when I was 19, probably share with anyone now, to be honest.
I don't think I'd like it because you'd only have like a hobnob for protection.
No, I think it's absolutely mad. Sometimes when I look at accommodation, if I'm nipping down to London and I can't stay with friends for whatever reason, I'll try and get a cheap hotel. And quite often there's these hostels are advertised, and they're cheap as hell. They're £8 a night.
Yeah, there's a reason.
But it's a mixed dormitory. Who on earth would go and stay in a mixed dormitory?
I'm coming up in June to Edinburgh, and I was trying to get a hotel in Edinburgh, and in June, oh my gosh, everything was mixed hostels. That was quite, I could afford that. But then the other things was like 400 and something odd quid for 2 nights in like an Apex or something out in miles away from where I'm working. So I actually got 4 nights in Glasgow for the same as 2 nights in Edinburgh. So I'm just going to have to be going backwards and forwards on the train.
But you do wonder with hotel prices, like I think even if I had, money was no object, I still couldn't bring myself to pay pay 600 quid or 400 quid for a hotel to sleep in a bed.
If I was going to really, if it was a holiday and you were going to be sitting outside and room and but if I just want somewhere to kip and then go see my mates.
No, I watched that documentary, but I watched the documentary about the Balmoral, and they've got suites at $6,000 a night, and I thought, if it's good enough for Beyonce, it's good enough for Bunty. I'm totally there.
$6,000 for a night. I couldn't bring myself, even the most luxurious, fantastic experience hotels. I could not bring myself to £6,000 a night. No.
Yeah, you get a chef.
Oh, I don't care.
You know the one on the Scotsman, the very top, that's got like the sauna and everything. For whatever reason, I was going up. This is quite a wee while ago, and they said it's empty. Do you want it?
Yes.
Well, how much is it? And they were like, you can have it for free. And it wasn't even like Instagrammy. They were like, nothing, just have it. As a friend of Edinburgh, and oh my God, it was so. I got up in the morning, couldn't find the sauna. I didn't know which floor it was on. But it was really posh. And I was phoning my mates, going, do you want to come over and play chess? They went, Gail, you can't play chess. I went, yeah, the chess set here, who cares?
We can learn in the morning.
I was trying to book for June, and then when I tried to book for August to come up for the festival, forget it.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I can't afford it.
And this is, I have an issue with the council or the government or whoever. There must be some way of regulating rents during August that people should not be allowed to charge over a certain amount of what their mortgage is.
Isn't it? It's like triple the price.
Yeah. No, it's obscene.
I was looking at maybe coming up for 4 days, and then I looked at the prices and I was like, oh, forget it. And 2 days plus my train up, plus everything else, it was going to cost me £1,000. Yeah, and I was like, I love my hometown and I love the festival, but then once you get there, you're going to have to be paying for everything else. And everything else, your food and shows. Yeah.
Well, never pay for a show, Gail. I mean, you're a celebrity. Just get them told. Guest list, now. You shouldn't actually go and see shows. It's a waste of time.
Is it?
Yeah, no, just meet me and we'll go for a drink.
Supportive Bunty.
Absolutely. I'll meet you at the Ivy.
Now, I'm going to ask might be an inappropriate question or an insensitive question. You saying that your cat has died. How long had you had your cat?
We couldn't figure it out because, 14 or 15 years.
And
she was totally fine. And she was at the top of the stairs looking at me. She went to the bathroom and then she kind of went to the middle stair and then she just went solid.
Oh my God, so really quick.
I don't know if it was like a heart attack or not eating any different food. She's an indoor cat, so nothing's happened outside. And I still can't go over it. And I just phoned my friends and they came over. It was about 10 o'clock at night or something. And then I kept her in the house the next day and I thought I was so heartbroken. And my daughter, phoning up at uni, and she's like, I just get a new one.
Oh, no.
You're my best buddy for like 14, 15 years. I can't just go and get another one. I said, is that what you're going to do when I die? Just get another one.
Get another mum.
Like that. Hey, everyone.
Although if there is a passage of time, would you consider getting another pet?
Oh my God, I've been Googling cats since last night.
So you are going to get a new one.
Yeah, I'm going to take it a wee while off, obviously. So, because Pickles was used to be going away, and my neighbours could pop in and make sure she was fine. She liked her own space. I think if I got a new kitten now, I'd have to make sure I'm at home for at least a couple of months and get her settled in and get everything. Because I'd love a dog, but I don't have a garden, and I think that's really unkind
and time consuming. I don't want to speak ill because Smidgen is in the room with us.
Well, she is, but
you didn't consider her after.
Everywhere. But she's got a tiny dog. She's got a chihuahua, and she takes it everywhere.
Yeah, I've got a Jackadoodle. What's she now? 16 and a half, so she's like 115. And I don't have a garden, got a big terrace, but that is the thing that, when the dog's got the skitters, or that you're up and down in the left 7 flights and all that kind of thing. So,
She was never unwell. She never complained. She'd sit on the windowsill and she'd talk to the birds. And then look at me. And I did I'd bought her a lead and took her outside, and she did not like it. She just wanted. She was quite happy in here, so I gave her the option.
You've done all you can.
I did all I can, and it was just the weirdest, strangest experience. She was fine, and then nothing. There was nothing at all. So it just took me by surprise, and I thought, Big Connect was like, felt like it was my dad did it as well. He was like, he's in Spain, phones me in the morning, totally fine, going for a coffee, get the next phone from his phone, just a woman saying he's just had a massive brain hemorrhage, he's dead. You need to get over here. It was a week before lockdown of COVID, and I was in Edinburgh doing a gig. So I had to get back to London, get a flight to Spain, but of course they'd up the prices because of COVID and everyone's trying to get back. And oh my God, trying to get there, and I don't speak Spanish, on my own, getting his body, getting him cremated. We missed the first 2 flights back because the people who were cremating him, mañana. And I was like, mañana, I'll have to stay here for probably a year. We're going to lockdown. I need to get him now. So I think the first flight was about 200 quid one way to get out. Second one was about 400 something. Last flight out, I'm not going to tell you who it was, but they charged me 1,000 something one way because it was the last.
Hate EasyJet.
Tell us exactly who they are. That's unbelievable.
And the good
Psychic
thing
moment.
was, I was sitting at the back, right, and I had my dad in this bag that said happy, right? So he's in his box and everything. I thought, I don't want to draw attention. We keep him, keep it quiet and all that. So I'm sitting at the back, and there's a guy sitting next to me, and I was just keeping myself to myself. And this lovely air hostess came up and she's like, "Are you Gail Porter?" And I said, "Well," and I was thinking,
Not today.
I was trying to keep it together, I was like, the tears were done, everything. I was just like, my dad's in this, and oh my gosh. And I'm probably going to be bankrupt after this entire blinking thing. So anyway, and she was like, "Oh yeah, but you were on a flight with us and you were really nice. There was turbulence. You were chatting to everybody. We've got 2 seats in first class. Do you want to come up?" And I went, "Oh my God, there's 2 of us." And the guy next to me, he's like, "No, I'm not with you." And I went, "No, that's my dad." I mean, well, when I say it's my dad, everyone's like, "Ah, what the?" And the air hostess lady was like, "I wish I'd never asked." And the guy next to me is going, "Please just take the seats. Take the seats."
Oh my God. I remember carrying a friend of mine, we scattered his ashes in Jamaica, but I honestly felt like we were smuggling drugs in because he was in a plastic container.
It was in this hammy bag in a big box like that. And everyone was just like, and then when the lady came up to me, then I put my dad in the seat and strapped him in. He's never done first class before. So he said, "Would you like a glass of wine? Or would you like 2? And I went, "Dad," I said, "You want 2? We'll take 2, yeah. That'd be great." So we had 2 glasses of wine. Well, I had 2 glasses of wine, which we would not do.
Yeah, I think that's very wise. I've always told my niece and nephew that if you ever get offered a free drink, you take it.
Oh God, yeah.
Even
Absolutely.
if you don't want it, or free food, take it. And then just give it
Yes.
But also sending him off in style, first class.
But then he was in the house because it was lockdown by the time I got back. Well, I got back, I think, the day or 2 days before lockdown. Them in the front room, and then eventually when all the bills were coming in and all the legal stuff I had to do, and of course nobody's answering the phone because it's on lockdown. Apparently you can't work from home at the beginning of it. So I was sitting dealing with all this stuff on my own. I had to put him in the spare bedroom every now and then. I was going, "Dad, it's really nice having you here, but I'm really not talking to you at the moment." "No way, you're in the spare room. I can't cope." But it took about a year, but managed to get through most of it. But
that's the thing. You've got through so much. So what is next, Gail? What have you got coming up?
Oh God, I don't know. No, well, I've obviously got Spooked Scotland, so we've got all the press. We start doing that, I think, tomorrow, and then I think that comes out on the 26th or 27th. I don't know, 9 o'clock, really, and Discovery Plus. And then I'm off to do. I've got quite a lot of talks that I'm doing around the country because it's Mental Health Awareness Week coming up. I'm doing a few talks around the country, lots of voluntary work, and I'm running 50 miles this month for the Samaritans. I just signed up. I don't have to do it all in one day. I just got to spread it out across the month.
Oh, wow.
It's a good thing. But yeah, TV-wise, I don't know. There's quite a few things in the pipeline, so I don't know. You know what TV's like. They just sort of like say, "Right, we've got you down for this." And then also I've just written something, and that's been taken by a film company. So lots of hanging around, but I'm keeping busy and I'm doing lots of bits and pieces and doing a front cover of Alopecia magazine. Hey, long are the days of FHM and
the side of Parliament buildings.
I think I'm doing this monthly as well. Woohoo!
And do you feel things are coming back? Do you feel that life is returning to some semblance of normality, or do you still feel a bit vulnerable and up in the air?
Normal. I don't think it's ever been normal. So, TV's weird. They like you or they don't like you for whatever reason. They change their minds. They're picky. You don't look right. You're too old. You're too young. You're not going to do this. I don't know. So yeah, there was a really bad patch when everything went completely wrong, and got divorced, lost my hair, lost my house, lost all the money that I'd ever earned, and had to start all over again. But I'm a firm believer in if you just got to keep going. I mean, if I could make it sleeping on benches and it's when I was in my 40s. Yeah, so about 40 or something. So yeah, I'd worked okay for TV, and then it all just went completely wrong. And then I just couldn't see a way out of it. But you just keep on, and work comes back to you. And yeah, I seem to be doing okay at the moment, but I never get too excited because you never know what's round the corner.
Well, that's it. The good times never last. The bad times never last. Didn't we?
Be positive, be grateful, and just always be there for other people as well, because it's amazing the amount of people that disappeared who were there when I was doing okay.
That's a really good life lesson, isn't it?
When I was homeless and nothing, and then didn't hear from anybody.
Yeah.
And then suddenly doing all right again, and it's like, oh, we'll come and join you for lunch. And I was like, oh, will you?
Oh, will you know? Yeah, I had this
thanks.
experience similar to that.
Salt and sauce.
Yeah.
Gail, it has been lovely speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Because every time I come up, I was like, right, we'll definitely meet. Because I tend to come up for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And then everything comes in. They go, okay, you do this and do that. And so
I
end
totally
up
understand.
But next time I'm coming up for 4 days.
Give us a
and
shout.
I've only got to work one night. So that's in June.
Okay, cool.
I'll see you.
Find a bar somewhere.
Yes, definitely. I will speak to you soon, my darling. Take care.
Lovely to see you. Keep putting one foot in front of the other.
We get proper chips in Scotland. I keep telling these English lot, it's like, what is it with you and your chips? Not that I eat chips at my age, because it goes straight to the hips. I like to smell them. I like to smell Scottish fish and chips.
Right, I'll see you soon, love.
You buy them and then I can have one. How about that?
Yes,
Perfect.
yes. Okay, fine.
Lovely to see
Sorted.
you. Mwah.
Bye, love.
See you later.
Bye, bye, bye.